Welcome to Off-Duty Engineer. I am Alan. This channel is for some of my scale modeling projects, plastic aircraft, wooden ships, and dioramas to display them. This is a summary of the scale model build of the Spitfire Mk IXc, the new 1:24 scale model kit by Airfix, displayed in a Hangar diorama. I completed this in 2024. The complete build is in two parts. Part 1 is the build of the Spitfire aircraft, out of the box build. This is part 2, the build of the Hangar diorama. This is all scratch built to scale. The idea was to display the Spitfire in a diorama of a hangar with the plane just outside of the hangar on a concrete apron, and a scene where workmen were prepping the plane for the next sortie. Because of the large scale, the hangar would need to be cut so that only the front section and some roof would be built and shown. I thought placing all this at an angle would remove the symmetry and add interest to the scene. I made a simple cardboard mock-up shown here as a start. The diorama was going to be quite large, some 700mm wide, 600mm deep, and almost 300mm high. I chose structural foam base, 25mm thick. I used 25mm by 3mm wood edging, glued and clamped, filled with DIY hardware filler, then sanded and painted white with a roller. This shows the base ready. Planning was supplemented by much Google searching for images that would inspire what I wanted to achieve. The hangar I settled on was the Robins that was in England. The fuel tank on the stand, images are shown here. I used these for my final design, then scaling, materials selection. Of the probably hundreds of images that I found on the net, these are the few that provided further inspiration. In it you can see elements of the ladder, the workbench, the person working on the engine panels on the ground, the concrete apron for the work area, and even the oil stain on the ground. I made many sketches of the items that I thought I would need to add to the diorama. These photos are some of my notebook pages. I created a table for converting dimensions to scale. This was put up to view in the work area for frequent reference. The pallets were made from wooden strips. The wood was weathered using a steel brush in my drill stand. I used a scaled sketch as a guide for placing, gluing with wood glue and clamping overnight. I used these methods a lot in this build. The tank build was interesting, challenging and fun. The actual tank took many passes to get right. Eventually I used 2 rattle can lids back to back that was the correct size to scale. From a good hobby shop I know from boat building, I purchased brass angle of various sizes, 3mm and 2mm, and brass rod of various diameters. A scale sketch was used as a guide. The brass was soldered at the joints and the tank stand built up. The tank exit filter and pipework was then added. The pipe was actually some fiber optic cable outer sheath, later stained black. The pipe holder was a sewing machine bobbin. The filler nozzle was made from brass rod. The tank and stand was primed and painted machine grey. The ladder and 2 workbenches were next. The wood from the workbenches was weathered on a wire brush. Final was stained. The ladder used hardwood. Again, scaled sketches were used as a guide for cutting and gluing. For the figures in my diorama, I selected the Tamiya 1:24 Rally Mechanics kit. It has 5 figures. I chose 4 of them. I would use khaki on the overalls, not the blue. The tools were quite nice, so I used them as well. The overall layout was checked so far. 1 figure can be seen on the Spitfire attending to that Merlin engine. The planning lines for the concrete can be seen. The final place for the hangar is committed. The hangar would have a wooden floor. The roof and front face of the hangar would be corrugated. I procured panels from the hobby shop. The bottom runners for the hangar doors is set into the base. The whole layout is committed now. The pedestrian door for the hangar is prepared. The window for the side of the hangar is also prepared. The base is now painted to concrete color. The lines are inscribed with a chisel and a screwdriver used to flat the edges. Panel line accentuator was used in the scribe lines to accentuate the black. The overall layout was checked again. The direction of the wooden floor was changed later. 2 figures can be seen. A pedestrian access walkway was added to the concrete apron to get to the door. I weathered the concrete a bit, slightly different shades of grey and grey-blue applied with a brush, then sealed the result with a satin clear varnish from a rattle can. The hangar framework was started. This is planned on the go because of the multiple angles involved. The yellow center line is added to the concrete apron, lightly airbrushed. The hangar floor is laid. I left the wooden strip smooth for this. The cut was done with a Dremel. The hangar frame is continued. Compound angles make this interesting. The frame for the wall on the side is built. This will be a wooden wall with weathered strips. The window was prepared earlier. This construction took a bit of time. For interest, this is the weathering of the wood and the wood strips using a wire brush on my drill press. To prepare for the corrugated iron outside, paper templates were made for each of the panels. The corrugated iron is polystyrene extrusion sheets from the hobby shop. The styrene was carefully marked and cut using the templates for minimum wastage. The result fitted well. A piece was cut and hot air formed for the capping. The final panels were primed and painted. Some color variance was added to some parts of the panels. Lines were added with a black pencil to show the standard width of the sheets. The number 12 was stenciled and then airbrushed lightly in grey. Brass lamps of the period were procured from my boat hobby shop. The shop is Floater Boat in Melbourne. The roof and front is now complete. Note the vinyl roundel on the wing. This did not look good, so it was removed. The Spitfire aircraft is not permanently fixed to the diorama. I used 2 2mm locating pins in the base and matching 3mm holes in each wheel. The spit just drops into place. I added some fence and the grass area. This is the detail on the pedestrian door. Brass hinges, brass handles and a hold-open peg. Here are a few pictures of the completed hangar and apron. The layout of the final diorama with the spit and most items are added, and a few workshop items added inside the hangar. See the oil and hydraulic fluid dispensing tanks. Here are the final Spitfire and hangar diorama photos. This was a really great project. I enjoyed it a lot. I highly recommend the Airfix kit, 1:24 scale, Mark IXc Spitfire. The Airfix design engineers produced an excellent model, thank you. The hangar diorama was a vision that I was not sure how it would present at the end. I think it turned out well, with a story and lots of visual interest. Well, I'm already planning for the next few projects. My YouTube channel is at OffDutyEngineer57. Please subscribe. That is all. I hope that you enjoyed this. Please follow, like, subscribe, etc. See you next time. Thank you.